Hear me okay? Girls in the back, good? Good? Okay. So I put this slide up here lovingly and lightingly because I don't know what I'm doing, hence the awkward silence of what's everyone watching on Netflix, right? But I was told to come in and speak about leadership and what that looks like for me, what my journey was, community involvement, and so we're gonna roundaboutly get there, so just bear with me. I have notes because I tend to get sidetracked, so I'm gonna cheat and look at notes. COM 114, I failed that miserably when I was here. So with that being said, I wanna know what you guys want to hear. Like, you signed up for this willingly, so if y'all wanna hear something that I'm gonna touch on, I'm not even gonna open the rest of the slides. So if you could just shout out to me maybe just why you signed up for this particular session. Perfect. Okay, that's good. Who else? Come on, I'm going to be the easiest one you guys have. Unless you're like, I needed my 5, and that's why I signed up. That's okay too. Any other burning things you guys want to shout out? All right. Well, with that, I am Megan. I am the director of United Way here at Purdue University. And that's typically, rule number 1, I didn't wear my name tag, right? So I'm walking here today, and of course, I forgot my name tag. So, but more than the director of United Way, I am a single mommy. I am a homeowner. I work full time, and I'm Steve's daughter. And I'm going to circle back to that because it'll kind of hopefully make sense. But when you introduce yourself, you're more. What I've learned, and I don't want to say all my wisdom, but what I've learned is you're more than just what your title is or what you do. Like, it's okay to be all these things too. So, don't just give them the elevator of, hi, I'm Megan, I'm the director of United Way, and then shut it down. If someone says, tell me a little bit about yourself. Okay, well, I live in Pine Village. It's about 20 miles west of here. I grew up a farm girl. People just want to, don't be afraid to be you, right? So that is that introduction. And a little bit about me. Oh, and I also brought, for those of you that don't know, being the single mommy, I brought my son Gibson with me today. So I had to pick him up from school, and he just gets to hang out with me tonight. So he's going to be the youngest student in the class. But so with that, I'm just curious, show of hands, who are freshmen? Okay, who are sophomores? Okay, juniors? Seniors? All right. So I always like to I just wanted to get a feel for, who I had in here. So if I were sitting in the room a number of years ago, that I think I might end up telling you when I graduate, if I was sitting in the room today, I had a 2.8 GPA when I graduated. I was not a good student. I have depression and anxiety. And I say that because I was very quiet and shy. I was the girl. I went here 4 years. I was the girl. I walked into class. I sat in the back. I didn't ask questions. I didn't look up. Like, if I made eye contact, does it make you nervous if the teachers make eye contact with you because they're afraid they're going to call on you? I would be sweating. That was me when I went to school here. So knowing that was some adversity that I had, and I'm in my role today, know that if you're shy, if you're quiet, if you don't have a great GPA, I know times have changed, but for me, all that adversity just shaped me of where I am today in my position. I also didn't do any extracurricular activities. Again, comes with being shy and quiet. So looking back, I did try out for Boiler Gold Dusters with the band. It was crazy. I was so out of my element. But being that shy, quiet girl, I think my dad kind of was like, you have to try something. And then I didn't make it, and I'm like, that's it. That's my 4 years here at Purdue. I'm not doing anything else. So you're in the room, and maybe you're in the back of your mind thinking, okay, well, there's all these people in leadership roles. I want to get involved in my community, but I'm shy. I'm quiet. My GPA isn't where it is. So that's just a little bit about where I would have been in the room. And then I guess I do put on here when I graduated. So March of 1995, again, I'll age myself, it's fine. I got my very first job at an IGA, which I don't even know if IGAs are around anymore. You're shaking your head. Okay, so small town America, we have these little mom and pop country grocery stores. That was my very first job at 15. I was so excited. I drove down there, I interviewed with Dwayne. I didn't even drive yet, I should say, yeah. I didn't even drive. My dad drove me down, dropped me off, and they're like, can you start tonight? Okay. So I started working there. May of 2001 is when I got my degree from Purdue University in computer graphics, which you guys now know is the Polytechnic Institute. I graduated, and here was going to be my leadership journey. I was in computer graphics. I was going to wear a power suit with a nice briefcase. I was going to work in Chicago. That was going to be awesome. Yes. So, with that being said, 2001, I graduated. Nobody wanted anything to do with technology majors. Like, wrap your brain around that, right? Like, can you even imagine nobody today wanting anything to do with technology? I mean, everything's technology. So between the years of 2001 and 2012, I had too many life experiences and professional career endeavors to mention. And I used to be embarrassed of that, but I graduated from Purdue and I got thrown into retail. It was either get a job or go hungry. So with my Purdue University degree, I marched to the mall and I got a job. And so I was in retail management for a number of years, which is nothing to shy about. If anyone's ever worked retail, it's awful and terrible. I don't recommend it. But if you need a job, it'll fit the bill. But I gained leadership. I gained networking. I did not become shy and quiet. That's when I came out of my shell. So for the first time, granted, I lived in Iowa at the time. So when I graduated college, I went to Iowa. Still shy, quiet, didn't want to be involved, didn't want to make eye contact, didn't want to talk. And it's like, okay, I'm going to be here for the next 4 years. I followed a boy out there. I'm going to be there the next 4 years. I might as well come out of my shell a little bit. So that's kind of what started my leadership journey, funny enough, was I was in retail. I liked people. I liked the people part of it. And I thought, okay, this isn't what I want to do with my forever. But where I am today, all of that helped mold me a little. So 2012, we got rid of the boy, right? I still have my management leadership experience. Jump ahead to 2013, and that is blank for a number of reasons that, again, I'm not going to go into, but that whole year of life experiences are what kind of also helped mold me on top of my past experiences. So my dad had some major health issues, and I say this and don't gasp. He passed away, but then they came back, right? So like we had to resuscitate him. So medically induced coma for however many days. I know you can't tell it. I used to be a runner. This is not a runner's body, but I used to be a runner. But I was even more depressed, full of anxiety, full of just panic. Like, oh my gosh, what does my life look like now? Steve, I'm Steve's daughter. Steve's good. He's good today. So, but I remember having a conversation with Steve, sitting at Nine Irish Brothers. And he said, you know, Megan, you're going to have to pull yourself out of whatever funk you're in, because I was in a pretty severe funk. And he said, I want you to get involved with Tippy Connect. And for those of you that is anyone local to Tippecanoe County? No? Okay. So Tippecanoe County is our host county here next to Purdue. Tippy Connect is a program for young leaders in the community. And it can be anything from volunteering, getting involved, things like that. And he's like, you know, there's an award they give every year, top 10 under 40. And I remember sitting there and I was like, Dad, I was depression, anxiety, mental health is one of my passions, so I'm okay to talk about that. But I would cry at the drop of a hat. I'm like, there's no way, I'm not a leader in this community. There's no way I'm ever gonna be up for that award. So with that, lots more, a few years in between there, I remember 2019, I was a candidate for top 10 under 40. And what I did to get there was I took a leadership course within the local community. And that helped me become a servant leader. So I got involved in nonprofit. I got my job at United Way. And that opened up a whole new door for me just outside of the university walls that I was so used to. So getting involved with your community, you know, you make so many more connections that help you mold who you are as a servant leader, as a nonprofit, as your committees, as your board, as things that are going to help you get involved within your community. So I put that up there only to say that I'm shy and quiet sitting here as a Purdue kid. 2013 wasn't the highlight of my life, and then I won the award. And so I just kind of felt like it came full circle with that. And it didn't come easy. And to say that I've had lots of jobs, I didn't want to, adversity is a big word that comes to my mind when I think of leadership. If I didn't have adversity, if I didn't get over those humps, if I didn't push myself out of my comfort zone. So things I learned to get very comfortable with, it's okay to say, I don't know. And I know that may seem like pretty trivial, and then just say, but I'll find out. Because I think some people, I'm not going to be cliche and talk about managers versus leaders. Y'all have heard that, I'm sure. But there are some people that you just know, right? They want to think they know it all, and they don't. And you can't say anything. Just say, I don't know. And then find out and follow up. Let me see what I can do. Show your vulnerability and be transparent and just tell people, you know what, I don't know. Again, that's the reason I put that first slide up there. I have no idea what I'm doing. Do you think you could help me? Ask for help. That was another big thing I was not good at. I wanted to be this strong, independent. I can do it. No, don't be afraid to ask for help. Let me introduce you. This is the biggest thing for leaders and being involved. If you're in a room of people and you see someone hey, let me introduce you to so-and-so. And then you make that connection. And then you just kind of slowly step back, right? Or let me make this email introduction. So get very familiar with using your connections and your contacts and making those introductions. Okay, so be a connector of people. I'm Steve's daughter, so circling back to that, when I was a student here, my dad, I'm fourth generation Purdue employee, and so we kind of bleed black and gold, we go way back, but my dad worked here, and everybody knew me as Steve's daughter, and I hated that. Again, maybe teenage angst, I don't know why, but I'm no, I am my own person. Well, that's okay though, and it took me until 42 to be okay being Steve's daughter. I'm very proud of that. But when I was here at Purdue, I'm no, I want to be my own person. But why was I like that? Why? So in your leadership roles, in your community roles, be okay with, oh my gosh, you're so-and-so's roommate, or oh my gosh, Professor whatever. But just, it's okay. And now I'm okay with being Steve's daughter. Just like my son Gibson, hopefully one day he'll be okay being Gibson, or, Megan's son. And then again, just be comfortable saying, I have no idea what I'm doing. And it's okay, because I still stand up here today and I'm okay, so, who's wondering what they're gonna have for dinner? I'm having dog and suds, by the way. But, who just get very comfortable with getting involved, not knowing what you're doing. Be comfortable being the only person in the room that you know. And that was a big one for me. I go to several meetings, I go to several networking events, I go to several extracurricular activities where I don't know a single soul, and just be okay being the only one in the room. And it takes a while, right? I feel like this is a pretty good, bless you, I feel like this is a pretty good group, bless you, of people that would be comfortable with that, showing up and just doing it. Take yourself out of your comfort zone for a little bit, show up, it's worth it. And so these are just a few pictures I put up here for no other reason than I'm okay, sure, I'll show some pictures. This first one is get involved with your community. Find your local chamber. Find your local chamber now. Did you guys know, as Purdue students, Tippecanoe County, the town council meetings, they're open to the public. You guys can go and attend those meetings. How cool is that to get that experience? I never knew that or had that experience, but this is from the local Chamber of Commerce that I am very heavily involved in and helped with my leadership. This was the ugly sweater Christmas party. So as you can see, I'm the one in the pink with the boa, the garland. So be okay with being silly. My United Way work with Purdue University, that has tremendously helped me in my leadership role. Just because Purdue is no small place. We've got 16,000 different employees, grad students, retirees, opportunities for people to donate to United Way. And that has helped me a lot in leadership within my role at Purdue. And the last one is me, the day I signed on my very first house, just this last August. But I'm a leader within my community as well. And we are all of 200 people in my little town. Believe it or not, yes, I live in Pine Village. It sounds like a nursing home. It's a real town. But I went back home, I bought my house in the little town, and I'm on the committees, and I'm on a board of directors for our foundation, and I'm involved. So it doesn't have to be this big grandiose thing of, when I graduate, you're thinking, okay, well, I'm just a little blip in the map of a small town. It doesn't matter where you land, it just matters where you get involved, who you're gonna make those connections, or reach out to people. I don't know a single soul. And so, even when you're job searching, I always try to find out who's on the committee, who's the hiring manager, and then I'll just send a nice email. Hey, do you have 30 minutes to sit down and chat? Just a little bit about what that job opportunity is. And then obviously, before you apply or after you apply, their name's fresh on your brain. So those are just some things. I don't know, take it or leave it. I was a nervous wreck. I'm talking to young people and I don't really have anything great to say. But those are just some things that my involvement in the community and how I kind of look at leadership and how that kind of helped mold where I am today. And I only talked for 15 minutes, so ask lots of questions, please. Yes? Can you talk a little bit about what you do in United Way? Yeah, so, sit down, please. I'm employed by Purdue. But 37 years ago, President Stephen Beering said that we need to put a little bit more focus on United Way here within our community. So used to, we could donate through Purdue and it would go to Central Indiana United Way, and now it goes to Lafayette United Way. So they created this position to where we could be kind of the go-to between the Tippecanoe County, Lafayette United Way, and Purdue. And so basically what I do is I help facilitate, communicate. I go to staff meetings. I talk about the importance of giving to United Way. And so United Way, is anybody not familiar with United Way? Okay, perfect. I wasn't either. I was afraid I wasn't going to get the job because I'd never donated to United Way. So United Way basically focuses on three things: the health, education, and health, education, and stability living of individuals in every community. So what that looks like here in Greater Lafayette is we have 27 partners, and that food finders. So the ACE Food Pantry, are you guys familiar with that on campus? That's through food finders. That's a United Way agency here. Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Red Cross. So what we do is we have an opportunity to give back whatever that is comfortable with for us as employees to United Way, and then United Way has a subset committee to where they will look at all of the agencies that they partner with and say, okay, 27% of the overall needs to go to food finders because this is the greatest need in the community, or 13% goes to this agency because this is a big need in the community. So they just basically, it's just an umbrella overarching of all those needs. So not to say that Natalie's Second Chance Animal Shelter isn't important, but United Way focuses on kind of the needs in the community right then and there. So does that help me answer that a little bit? Yeah. So like I said, I had never heard of United Way, and a lot of people, I'll be honest, a lot of people think of United Way and they're like, well, it's for homeless people, or it's for addiction or recovery. That's not me. But if your house burns down, the Red Cross comes. That's United Way. I think all of us obviously are still and were impacted by COVID. Getting enough food in our homes, that's United Way. So those are just some of the touch points that I kind of focus on with that. So, more questions? You have a question, I know you do. I can tell.
I was interested a little bit in Pine Village, because I think, so it's a more rural community, right?
Very much so.
And I think a lot of them are struggling a lot.
Yes.
And there's a lot of redevelopment that needs to be done. Do you know if Pine Village is doing anything right now with that and how they're dealing with some of the issues that are prevalent in rural communities?
So broadband internet, high-speed internet is a huge thing in my neck of the woods. But working from home and with COVID, and depending on how many people you have in your household, schools. And so a lot of grant writing through the community foundations are taking place. WIN, which is the Wabash Heartland Innovation Network, they focus on the donut counties around Tippecanoe County, and this is just local to Indiana. I don't know anything, outside of that, but there's 10 counties around the surrounding Tippecanoe. And so what they've done is they've allocated some of these dollars to the rural communities in order to help with that. And there's a lot of other initiatives like wind and solar, and the tax money that comes in from that is helping. Gibson attends Pine Village Elementary School. Again, I don't know why our family has such deep roots. He's 5th generation to go to that school, right? They almost closed it 8 years ago. But because of these initiatives and because of the dollars coming into the county, we're getting a new 2-story school, elementary school built in Pine Village. That it's tripled the enrollment over the past few years. So it's community by community basis, but it's things like the town council, it's things like getting involved in the county commissioners. Those are the leadership roles that you all would have an impact in no matter where you moved back to. So I was asked to run for town council in Pine Village, and I had to step back because, again, it was okay for me to say, I can't take this on right now. And as disappointing as it is, because it was a great leadership opportunity, I want to see our little town grow. I think another part of leadership is saying, I can't put this on my plate right now because I can't have other aspects suffer. It doesn't mean no forever, it just means no for right now, but then stay engaged. Go to those town council meetings, go to those open forums that they have, and learn about what you can do. I hope that helps. Okay. Who else has questions? Did anybody take any little nuggets from that? All right. I guess you guys get some of your day back. I don't know what's all available as far as, because it's changed so much since I was a student here, but I encourage you, if you can, take a bus or grab a friend, or if you have a car, go down into Lafayette and see what see what you can do. If you're interested in that, I can make connections for you. The county commissioners, take a tour of the courthouse. I had never taken a tour of the Tippecanoe County Courthouse until I got involved in Leadership Lafayette. But if that's something that interests you guys, that's why I put my email up here. Email me, and I can help make those connections. And so that's like on the back of your brain all the time. Just be thinking, okay, what am I passionate about? Who do I know that has that interest, and how can I get involved? So my 3 are mentoring youth as a single mom to a boy. Sometimes I feel it's like, okay, what am I bringing to him? And so mentoring youth is a big one to me. Mental health is a big one, and leadership. So learn what it takes or how to get involved to sit on a board of directors. If you're in any student groups right now, I'm also on the board of directors for Big Brothers Big Sisters, and Purdue has a chapter of that here. We have the sitting president at the Big Brothers Big Sisters attend our board meetings. And to get that knowledge as a student would have been huge. And I'm sure, my dad, Steve, probably told me to do that. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't do it. But to get that knowledge now at, 2021, not 42, would have been a huge help, I think, for me in the younger years. So anyway, that's all I got. What else does anybody have? I have a fun one for you. I don't know if this is right, wrong, or indifferent, but every meeting I go to, people say, what side am I supposed to put my name tag on? Does anybody know? Like, who thinks it's the left side? This is the dumbest thing ever. Who puts their name tag on the left side? Okay, so y'all put it on your right side? So put it on your right side because of this. Here, Gibson, shake Mommy's hand. Look where his eyes go, to my name tag on the right. Ah, there you go. I don't know why I thought about that, but I'm driving over here. I'm like, I'm going to put that in there. Well, thank you guys for your time. I hope this was just a little bit helpful. Please take my email down. I'm not the most connected person, but I do work at Purdue, so you can use me as a resource. I'm very heavily involved in the community. You can also use me as a resource. But anytime, no question is too silly, honestly, because, again, I stood up in front of 30 people and said I literally have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm comfortable with that. So it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you. Yes, dear.